So I'm now recording. So welcome everyone to the Gemini meditation. So just to give you a bit of a layout of the journey that we're going to go on this evening, over the next kind of 2 hours, 2.5 hours or so, myself and Celeste and Taki'h are going to guide you on a journey, and that is going to be focused on, I prefer to have you on gallery view. I like to see you all. I like to see you all at once. So we're going to take you through a meditation process that has a kind of up the mountain, down the mountain type of vibe, right? So we're going to start off, Taki's going to start you off with a focus on body and the activation of our individual body and the group body and the energy fields of our body and so on, with some certain contemplations. And then Celeste will take us through a process that will connect us deeply as a group. And then I'll take us through a process which will be about connecting to the transmission, the life force transmission possible at this time. I'll then pass it back to Celeste for how that flows into and through our group process. And then she'll pass it back to Taki'h for how that really flows through with a force of manifestation and embodiment and grounding of that in the world. So that's the contemplative, meditative, embodied journey that we're going to be on. And before we do that, I want to say some words about the particular opportunity of this time and the Gemini full moon. So the Gemini full moon is the third of the three major kind of full moon festivals of the year, as far as these teachings that Shambhala school comes out of are concerned. And there's Easter, and then there's Vesak, and then there's the Gemini full moon. And to put it super simply, the Easter and the Vesak full moons of Aries and Taurus, the two full moons that have just gone, are really about human beings coming together and bonding deeply as souls in group to invoke a transmission of dark light life force from the reservoir of that on the planet Shambhala, which is where, just as you and I have a monadic core, have a core of pure spirit that is the dark light reservoir of life force in our being, so does the planet. And the version of that in the planet is Shambhala. And actually that invocation extends even further out into cosmos, for what we understand is like the cosmic source of that energy, which is the galactic center. So a huge amount of work that we've been doing in Shambhala school recently, and a big focus of these transmissions is, can we orient our awareness towards this new emergent symbol of the galactic center? If we understand that culture for the last 3,000 years, longer even, since ancient Egypt, we could say, has been solar, has been orienting towards the sun at the center of things, whether it's in cosmos or whether it's in how we form our political system or our educational system or our social system, where we look to a being, often a man, who seems to have more light than the rest of us, who seems to have more knowing than the rest of us, who seems to have more vision than the rest of us, and who can light the way. Our cosmology, what we put at the center of our cosmology, affects the way we see the world. And so in 2000, the year 2000, as we know, there was the emergence of the recognition that, okay, well, actually there's a new center in play. We're aware that, first of all, we're aware that at the center of our own galaxy, there seems to actually be, wow, a completely different type of center, a supermassive black hole that, rather than be a structure that has even more light, is actually a center of mystery and darkness and not knowing, that has even more power to hold a field for 100 billion suns to be born and grow and evolve around it. But not just that, that actually at the center of every galaxy is a supermassive black hole. And not just that, but there is no center as far as the universe is concerned, that there seems to be no center. So part of our work has been to orient towards the galactic center as a source and reservoir of what Shambhala school is dedicated to, which is the dark light of spirit. And so the first two full moons of this big time period of the year are oriented towards that and to accessing that transmission, which the last full moon Vesak is it's like the peak of that. Boom. Okay, yes, we've accessed that transmission. That transmission is flowing now. Gemini is about the flow back of that into humanity. It's about the full flow back of that into our world. And you know, what that energy does when it impacts us is it wakes us up to who we truly are. It reminds us that actually there's only one of us here. And that one is deeper than our personal self. It's deeper than our soul self. It is the one life at the core of all humanity, which is in process of remembering itself right now. And yeah, you know, and I'll say some words in a minute about what feels to be the significance of that process at a time where humanity feels very splintered and very fractured in terms of what's going on, particularly in the US right now, which is a symbol of so much more that's present in the world. But before that, I do that, I want to go ultra esoteric with you. We're about to go ultra esoteric. Okay. So come with me. Okay. So some people who kind of like sit forward. Okay. So in our zodiac, we know how to find the galactic center by looking in the constellation of Sagittarius. Even the name of the astronomical name of the galactic center of our galaxy, of the Milky Way galaxy, is called Sagittarius A, right? Sagittarius A. So that means that when we're orienting towards the galactic center from the perspective of Earth, we look through the constellation of Sagittarius to access that energy. So if we're a bunch of human beings who are super dedicated to anchoring more dark light realization and activation on the planet, which I think we are, right? And we're doing that at the previous full moons, then we orient to our own monadic core. And through that, we orient to Shambhala. And then through Shambhala, we orient to the galactic center through the lens of Sagittarius. However, if you then look at Earth from the perspective of the galactic center, if you take the perspective of the galactic center and look towards Earth, Earth is aligned with the opposite sign to Sagittarius, which is Gemini, right? So Gemini and Sagittarius form a pair in the zodiac, just as of all the 12 signs, each are parts of pairs: Leo, Aquarius, Virgo, Pisces, Scorpio, Taurus, Sagittarius, Gemini, and Libra, Aries, and maybe there's another one, right? So from the perspective of the galactic center, Earth has actually been in the sign of Gemini for the last, I think it's near 20 million years or something. You know, the journey around the galactic center is a journey of 250 million years. Yeah, that's how long it takes our solar system to journey once around the galactic center. Whereas, you know, we're entering the age of Aquarius now, which is a sign that will be in for the next just over 2,000 years. And if we're a full round of that zodiac cycle, what's called the great year, the Platonic great year, takes us about 26,000 years. But then the bigger cycle is around the galactic center. And it's said in the esoteric teachings that we will enter, whilst the whole of human evolution, the whole of the entire process, the entire journey that we've been on this planet in terms of the evolutionary emergence of humanity, and it taking us right now up until this point of us starting to flower into recognizing and awakening to actually there's just one life that we are here. There's one cosmic life that we are here. That coincides with the shift of Earth from the perspective of the galactic center into the next sign. And the next sign is Cancer. But it's understood that that won't happen until the year 2222. And it's said in the teachings that it is the plan, people. It is the plan held on the soul planes, the blueprint for our entire evolutionary process, that by the time that year comes round, 2222, the plan, the blueprint is that humanity will be self-aware as one divine being of cosmic origin and significance, operating in harmony with its deep purpose and having built a culture and a society based on that realization, right? And that's based on the understanding that even the most utopian visions that normally are present for human beings about what the best world we could live in would look like are basically just us getting our shit together, right? They are basically just us not being violent to ourselves and not being violent to each other and not being violent to the earth. And actually that's a planetary version of me just getting to the point of having an integrated personality, or you just getting to the point of having an integrated personality. And as you and I both know, that is not the end of the path. Like, that is actually a great accomplishment, and it's also the beginning of something else. Then we actually have a stable foundation for my soul to land, for your soul to land, right? And the same is true on a planetary level. That normally most utopian vision that so many of us have held, or human beings through time, of getting to a place where we have a society and a culture globally that operates in harmony and peace and compassion and decency with ourselves and with each other in the earth, that's page one, right? That's the beginning of something else, yeah? So these teachings come with an understanding that the destiny of humanity, should we make it through, and the understanding is that we are and we will make it through this current global crisis / global initiation, is that we have a destiny that is so much vaster than our own squabbles and tribal differences with each other. That when we have brought love and the recognition of the unity that is already here to how we operate with each other and how we operate with the earth, that will free us up to an entirely new way of being and an exploration, which is bigger even than just the planets, bigger than the earth. It's part of us becoming a cosmic species. And what is deeply tied to that is our awakening as just, we're one thing. We're one emanation of life. We're one emanation of spirit. We're one emanation of dark light. And that is the experience that comes with the awakening of the dark light in you, in your heart, in your body, in your soul when that wakes up. And it's the same thing that happens in me when that wakes up in me. It's like, and when that first woke up in me, it was in a meditation when I was at university. And it was just like shock that moved through my body at the power of that. Like, it's like a, as I experienced like the one that I am and the one that we are that broke forth in the beginning, you know, from the Big Bang or whatever our current story is, and that coalesced into the formation of early galaxies and black holes, and that came together as the earliest suns and formed on the special place of this rocky planet into a solid globe, and to then experience myself as that one come through the evolution of the mineral kingdom and the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom until now, here as a human being, self-realizing itself, with all human beings self-realizing itself as something so much vaster than any of our individual story. That's happening more and more around the world because something in our core is waking up, which is the one we already are. And that's deeply what the Gemini full moon is about. It's deeply about what's called in the teachings the return of the avatar, the arrival of the avatar. And it's said that from the galactic center, when all these esoteric, super kind of like occult terms, right? That when human consciousness or human energy, human life force actually reconnects to the galactic center, it's said that from the perspective of the galactic center, it's like a returning dragon. Because Earth is supposed to be like a reservoir of cosmic Kundalini energy. We're at just like your base center is the most dense, basey kind of space of your being, where there's a reservoir of energy, which is Kundalini. So also is it's understood that that's what Earth is in a cosmic sense. Like what we are actually is a reservoir of the energy of spirit in dense matter. So from the perspective of the galactic center, there's a returning dragon. Life force that forgot itself for a really long time is remembering itself, and it's remembering what it is. But then the other direction, from the perspective of Earth, is called the arrival of the avatar, the return of the avatar. And that avatar is us. We are that avatar remembering itself. And actually in these teachings, which in my experience, like I spent decades going as deep into the deepest spiritual teachings on this planet that I could possibly find. And, you know, with this stuff, like it came to some of the deepest that I ever found. And even within these teachings, it says like that avatar is the one for whom the masters have waited since the beginning. It's the one for whom Shambhala has been waiting since the beginning. That's us. That's our destiny. Like to awaken as one thing here for a purpose that's so much vaster than we've ever dreamed of yet. And we're in the initiation right now of needing to look at all the fractured parts of our collective body to bring them back together again and have a stable vehicle for that realization to land. So Gemini is about this. And just the last thing I'd like to say is, like, you know, while there are many human beings in the world who are really motivated to give their, and maybe there's many on this call, like to give their heart and their compassion and their energy and their consciousness and their time to how do we bring these fractured parts of humanity, which are, for instance, playing out very strongly right now in the situation in America, which is a symbol just of a situation that's present all over the world. How do we bring them into right relationship? How do we heal the rifts and the fractures which are there? That is a deeply important work. And something like something that a community like Shambhala School can offer is something else as well, which is, as this energy that we work with and that we're focused on, which is the life force of the one, flows through groups around the world who are seeking to offer themselves as channels for it to flow through. There are lightning strikes of remembering that happen through human beings that actually, far beyond any of our conflicts and tribal divisions with each other, our shadows and our traumas, we've always only ever been one. We've always only ever been one divine transmission of life force. And in my experience, when that's moved through my traumas and it's moved through my fractured parts and it's moved through my heartbreaks, and there's been a lightning strike of remembrance that what I am has never been touched. What I am has always been one. What I am has always been free. There's a particular type of healing that happens there as well. So we have an opportunity in times like this to deliver some of that as a medicinal dose to humanity. And to take our next steps forward on the process of us waking up as one thing in a time where that's really important. So, deep breath. So I will now pass it over to Taki'h and we will begin our journey together. Thank you for hearing me.
Thank you, John. Okay, so taking a moment, and as I always begin, closing your eyes and connecting to your yes to the festival of humanity. Your yes, your intention for yourself, for this community, for the planet, for where we're headed as a humanity and all the species on this sphere that's traveling through the cosmos at incredible speeds we cannot even fathom. What is your intention? And speaking that intention out in just a phrase, one sentence maximum, hitting bullseye, and feeling how that vibrates through your body. What happens in your body? Is there alignment? Is there a yes from your body? Is there any resistance? And if you do find some resistance or some holding back, some block, some stagnation, place your hands there, that part of the body where there might be a hesitation. And take deep breaths there. If there isn't any part in your body that is resisting or contracting around your intention, then great. No need to force it or make it up, fake it. And many of the paths have been leaving, the esoteric paths have been leaving the body behind. And in this festival of humanity, where everything gets poured back down, we're making a very clear yes, that the body is not to be left behind. It is the vehicle through which spirit can land and express itself. Just checking with your body. How does it want to move? And after hearing all the transmission from John and whatever you've been doing your day so far, for some of you it's early morning, for some of you it's late night, midday, just giving your body full permission to stretch, maybe shake, sound. Maybe it's just tired and just wants to relax or be playful. It's very energized. Just spending the next minute just allowing. You can be in any position, standing on your floor, sitting, laying down, as you wish, as your body wishes. And taking deep breaths as you allow that, letting life, literally, breath is life, letting life in. Taking some deep breaths and allowing the heart to expand also. Deep breaths, let the lungs fill, and with that, the chest expands. Allowing space in the chest and the heart center. Just a few more moments now before we dive into the base. Yes, allowing the neck to roll as well. Your head will not fall off, guaranteed. And slowly coming to stillness and listening, beginning to listen. If there's still some outer movement, it's fine, but it's not a doing, it's an allowing whatever is there. It's perfectly fine. Contracting and releasing PC muscles as if you needed to go to the bathroom and you're trying to hold it and release. And putting all your attention and focus, contract, hold, release into your base, your anus, your perineum, your pelvic floor. And with the next contraction, feeling into the contractions in your base. What is being held there? And release. You can let go of the PC contractions. And maybe it helps you to place your hand over your base. You can be sitting or standing, just placing your hand there if you wish, if that feels right to you. What deep core contractions are there? This decade is known as a decade of crisis, possibly suffering. And there's a lot of that going around, and maybe some of us felt like, okay, when this corona thing is over, I can go back out to life as normal. Connecting now to the second wave of crisis, and this is just the fifth month into it. Into the decade. And connecting what in you around survival, because this is what will trigger stepping over anyone and doing anything in order to survive, not letting love through, but going with fear. Connecting to the core piece around your survival that's been triggered over the past month, 2 months, 3 months. What part of your existence has come into crisis? And naming it, being very clear about what it is. One phrase, one sentence maximum. It's not a big long story. Might be just a couple words. My fear or my contraction around. And as you name that, observe what happens in your body. Different energy or physical sensations that starts to flow, the different thoughts that start to run in the head, perhaps even different emotions that are present. What does the package of this crisis at the individual level look like, feel like for you? And stay, hold, observe it and hold. Don't try to push it away. Understand it with your mind. Feel it. If you need to move or you need to sound, take the space you need. A few more moments, holding it, feeling it, not detached, but not rolling in mud either, not sinking. Knowing that this is something you need to face at the individual level in order to go through this initiation along with the rest of humanity and the planet itself as it moves from personality to soul during this decade. So yes, welcome. Welcome to this crisis in my life and how it's showing up and how things are falling apart, or I don't know what to do next, or whatever it is. Now we're just going to go behind the apparent crisis. All that is happening at the surface level. Your partner has left you, you've lost your job, you need to move and you don't have anywhere else to go. Whatever the thing is, that's apparent, surface level. Sink deeper into your base. Behind apparent reality. What's the shadow piece there for you that you need to look at? Most likely it will have to do with power or fear. This is what's happening in the US, and it's just representing what's happening in all of us. What needs to happen in all of us, we need to face our shadows. And they'll have to do most likely with power or fear. Naming it, bringing it out from the shadow into the reality here and now, not hidden, tucked away, trying to slither away. Naming it for yourself so that it can no longer slither away or have power over you. Now for the next 2 minutes, allowing that energy to run, giving it full permission. You're not going to hurt yourself or hurt anybody else or any property around you. Let it run. Experience it. The fear, the power over, the manipulation, the whatever is there in the shadow that is behind this apparent crisis, let it run. So it might be a contraction where you feel like you have powerless or helpless. Let your body feel it. Let your body go into it. What words come with it? What are the emotions that come with it? Or maybe it's, I'm going to survive no matter what. I got to do this and do that to make myself useful and this and that. And then, yeah, I'll survive this crisis. We cannot move through the shadow until we have owned it. This is the way it works. So going deep within, you have another minute. If you don't do it by choice, it will be done for you. Knowing that as you liberate whatever is trapped in your shadow, you are aligning with what's happening globally. This is Shambhala energy that's smooth and needs your consent. Otherwise, it's destructive. But while this shadow is sitting there in your base, just like it is coming out in very destructive ways in the US and other places. So let it run. Last moments. I am no different than those police officers. I am no different than those who are being killed. I am not separate. All those energies run through me as well. Taking some deep breaths. owning the oneness in our shadow, through our shadow, our collective shadow, our individual shadow is our collective shadow, is our inherited shadow, millennia, ancestral, cultural, religious. And standing firm, feeling this is not the time to turn away. We've been doing that long enough. I will continue to feel, and I will continue to expose, reveal what's in my shadow individually, so that we as a collective, as the one being that we are, can move through this initiation. And feeling that in yourself, is that a yes from you, giving your consent?
And connecting now to your heart. Allowing your body to have any last movements. And centering deeply in your heart. Taking a deep breath into your heart. Really allow yourself now to rest in your heart. No need to change anything. No need to do anything. Simply be in your heart. How is your heart doing right now? Can you allow yourself to feel whatever is moving you right now in your heart? Can you just surrender to it? Can you let yourself be moved by whatever is going on in your heart? by the pain in your heart, the pleasure, the grief, the ecstasy. The emptiness in your heart. And can you simply hold yourself in that right now? Allowing whatever is there to open up your heart to its deeper truth, its deeper level. Connect now to that deeper level of your heart, the soul level of your heart. The transpersonal level of your heart. And gently allow yourself to sense the love that is there. The deep wisdom of your soul. What needs to happen for you to show up as soul here today? Have you fully arrived here as soul? And really drop in and allow yourself to be here now as soul. Identify as soul. And slowly start feeling all the other souls that are with you here on this call. All the other hearts. Notice yourself connect to them as soul. Weaving a web of souls. And now within your own soul, go even deeper and very slowly start sensing the seed, the monetic seed that is deeply embedded in every soul. Take a moment to find that seed within your soul, knowing that every other soul on this call is also taking a moment to find their seed. The monetic seed at the core of your soul. And once you have found that seed, don't let go. Sense yourself as soul, deeply connected to the monadic seed in its core. And deeply connected to other souls. That are connected to their monadic seed in their core.
Okay, and so now I invite you to stay in meditative presence. Stay with the presence that you've been cultivating during this time. And also just start to feel, how ready are you? How deeply open are you for the one life at the heart of humanity to wake up through you? See if you can find that place of opening and surrender within your own being, for your individual I. To be opened to the one I, the one life, the one self at the heart of humanity. So just find your place of yes to that. Just stay there. And then just make yourself available. Make yourself available for the electric current of spirit. And that means just let go of anything else. Feel into what brings you ecstatically alive. What opens you and breaks down your sensed barriers to being intimately up close with life. What produces in you the experience of having your heart vibrate open with life. And just focus on that. Just make yourself available to that as if you are putting that current of spirit first, that current of life first, that current of ecstatic vibration first. As if you're listening to where that wants to show up in you, how it wants to express through you, where that wants to take you. And you're just available, as if you're walking out into an open field, just making yourself available to lightning. Having dropped everything else. And then tune into that place in you that is open, that is available to be penetrated and opened by the deeper life at the heart of all humanity, and indeed at the heart of the earth, that is open to your identity being penetrated and opened, and feel both the vulnerability and the exhilaration of that surrender. For the life of the earth itself, for a cosmic life that's here, buried deep in your being, to wake up in you, start to live through you. And let that stretch you. Let it build tension in your being, just staying there. In that yes, in that calm, in that availability for that one to wake up through your heart, through your soul, through your body. Not leaving that place. And then start to actually feel into your heart space. And see if you can sense into your heart space using your awareness like the sense of touch. Feeling, sensing. No need to imagine or visualize anything. And you're searching for current, life force, the fire of your heart, the wildness of your heart. vibration, intensity. So just search in, feel into your heart space where you feel the beginnings or the flow of current, vibration, life force, intensity. And increasingly just let that current of life come online through your core. That current of ecstatic power, ecstatic love, ecstatic creativity. That when you let that rise in you, starts to break down the barriers of separation, pull you deeper just into life. And start to feel that this is not your life. This is one life. This life is deeper than your identity. It does not belong to you. But it is life force. And let it grow in you just by being with it, being with the intensity, the current, the vibration that you experience in your heart space. Nothing else but just being with it, and let it grow in intensity in your being. And let it start to reveal to you that it is of a deeper identity. Feel it as it plugs into the back of your heart, where spirit plugs into the body mind. And just as if letting your identity muscle relax. Staying present with that vibration in your heart, just relaxing the sense of identity. And letting the flow of current build from pressure, tension, to flashes of current, flashes of lightning. And letting that build to a stable flow of heart fire. Call forth the heart fire of your heart. And let that build. And then let that space in your heart, that vibration in your heart, just let it be open. Let it be sensitive. Let it be responsive to the life force of the earth. And deeper, deeper out into cosmos, just without going too conceptual, just opening your heart, opening your being, opening your core to being penetrated and opened by a deeper life. And not leaving that place. And then starting to let that current take you. Let that current ravish your identity. Consume your identity. Pull in your identity. Vanish your identity. So that something else wakes up in you. Something alive, something one, something vibrant, something ecstatic, something that you know is actually at the core of us all. And feel what this invites you to let go of. Feel what this invites you to put down. If your body is vibrating and available to the one electric presence at the heart of us all waking up through it, that's first. That's vibrating in your heart first. So just staying with your heart current. Letting it build from tension to flow to lightning to fire to dark light to penetration to one. And feeling the group in that process, feeling the field of surrender and sacrifice and opening. Feeling the group that's willing to be vulnerable enough to let a life deeper than any of us claim itself and remember itself and call to itself through the whole field. Just taking in the felt sense of the group field. And then just opening the group field, staying present with the group field and opening it as if it were open to the flow of current, the life force of the earth itself and Shambhala, all the way out even to the galactic center, as if there was one arrow of life, one pulse of life that knows who it is, pulsing forth from the galactic center straight into our group field and into each being's heart space, waking up through each being here, just opening the group field to whatever comes, receptive, available for that arrow. And just spending another minute or so just really plugged into the receptivity, the availability, the surrender, the tension of the group field, and then just being, but being with clarity and intensity and presence and availability. Just here, just ready, just available for something deeper to wake up through us and then to be shared and poured out into humanity as a whole.
And allowing that to really impact your soul also. What does it look like when you really surrender your soul to this? When you really allow your soul to die to this, to give your soul to this. Allowing your heart to be fully penetrated what happens to your heart. Notice your heart break. Sense how your heart is cracking open, shattering into a million pieces, to a bigger, stronger version of itself, a truer version of itself. Really allow your heart to break. And notice how through that breaking it is expanding, growing. Sense all the other hearts that are here with you, cracking and expanding and growing to a deeper truth of themselves. For all souls here are willingly having their hearts cracked open and expanding. And feel the power of that. Feel the strength in that, the vulnerability in that, tenderness in that. And stay connected to the dark core of your heart while your heart opens, grows its field, and slowly merges with all the other hearts here, penetrating each other's fields, flowing into each other's fields. Pulsing, beating, and slowly becoming one heart with one dark core. That is your dark core. Notice your soul deeply surrendering to the love and the life force that is vibrating through this heart. And this heart keeps growing and expanding its field. Embracing now every soul in your city, pulling in every heart to merge into the one big heart. Allowing it to become a bigger, stronger, more vibrating heart. And expanding even further, and including now all the souls, people in the country that you're in. And notice the aliveness in that heart, the pulsing, the beating, the life force, the current that is running through it. And the deep, deep love Notice how this heart is keep on cracking and opening itself up to make space for more souls and more people. Keeps on cracking open. It wants to crack open. Until eventually each and every person and each and every soul on this earth has merged with this one heart to one big heart. A heart that goes around the world, a heart that is the world. And sense all humans and all of humanity as that one heart. Vibrating as love and as life force. Vibrating as one, pulsing as one. And allow yourself to really feel the love of that and the tenderness and power that comes with that. One heart transmitting life force through the earth and the galaxy, the cosmos as one. And really remember yourself and humanity as this one heart. Allowing yourself to offer each and every last bit you got to this one heart. To fully surrender all of you to this one heart. Sensing all the other beings surrendering to this heart. Beating together as one. awakening as humanity through this one heart, as this heart.
Placing your hand over your heart and feeling the heartbeat. Maybe you can even hear it in your own head. The heartbeat of the one in this form. The heartbeat of the planet. The heartbeat of humanity. The heartbeat of the galaxy. Through the connection to that heartbeat that beats in this body, in this form, feeling the impulse of the one that I am, that is expressing itself through me. Letting the feeling or vibration or sound of that heartbeat amplify throughout your form. With the intention of fully emptying and letting that vibration of the one fill this form fully. Letting the darkness like smoke rise through the bottom of your feet or your sitting bone, perineum, like smoke going into every nook and cranny of this form. Recognizing the dark light in every cell, in the tissue, in the muscles, in the organs, until all there is this black smoke. Filling this whole form. The expression of the one in this avatar. This is the destiny of humanity, and this is the destiny of the planet. To hold this energy. In form, in matter. Letting it land, fully land in this body. Giving your consent. letting it vibrate. What does that look like? What does it sound like? When this whole form, this body is vibrating. The dark light as the expression of the one. Give it expression. Allow it to express through you. This is our destiny. Allowing it now. Not only does it have somewhere to land, but it has expression, it has creative force through material, through matter. Allowing your body to make the gesture that life wants to make. If there's any movement that life wants to make, if there's any sounds that life wants to make, and trust. Trust and surrender. And be filled. Listening for the messages that come through. Maybe it's in vision, maybe it's in words, maybe how does life want to come through this form? What is the action or the activity that is to be created, or is to be manifested, or is to land? And it needs this form to move through. Can let go of worrying about whether it's right or wrong, or is this it, am I short? Can just get out of the way and allow. It's not sole purpose. It is the one. It is global. It's galactic. But it needs form in order to manifest. One more minute. Naming it, giving it words, phrase, one sentence maximum. What is it that life was to express through me? Or how? Noticing how your being vibrates with that. Likes and dislikes beyond soul purpose. Yes. Now you're going to go into small groups, breakout rooms in groups of 3. And if nothing has come, it's okay. You can hold that space for each other in your turn and supporting that partner for whatever it is to land. Holding life force together in group. This is the Aquarian way. We experiment with it. If something has landed, has expressed itself, a seed has come through, or a full vision, a full understanding has come, bring it out into manifestation through your words, crystallize it. And we'll be back to continue after that. Just accept the invite, join. If you're not in a group yet, you have to tap join. And you'll get the instructions. There's a few of you still who haven't joined. Florian, Ifiani, Abaya, Artur, Isioma, accepting the invite to crystallize or to continue, landing. You can pause the recording. And as you slowly come back, holding that, wherever that deeper inquiry took you, and connecting again to your intention from the beginning of this journey. Now, almost 2 hours ago, that intention that you had for yourself, that yes that you had for yourself, for your community, for humanity. And how this journey is supporting that intention for the benefit of all. And so that we can be in right relation within our own parts, with each other, with other species that we co-share this home with. as a planet, and to remember ourselves. That each one of these intentions fuel the fire of remembering yourself as the one. That is your destiny. So this is the way that we have celebrated the Festival of Humanity. The full moon is actually tomorrow evening. Depends where you are. In Europe, it's tomorrow evening. And it's also accompanied by an eclipse, a pair of eclipses. There's one in the full moon tomorrow and 2 weeks from tomorrow during the solstice. It's a very powerful, powerful time. As we all know from the teachings that they've been downloading and that we've been hearing about, if you've been following that, the solstice coming up is a very unique alignment, cosmically speaking, planetarily speaking. And the eclipse is part of it. And so we begin that journey in earnest, in full force tomorrow. And this is the way we've opened the space for that. So thanking yourself for being part of that journey, making the time, being here. And if anybody would like to share anything from the journey, what's come up for you, anything else you'd like to share, the space is open. You can unmute yourself, and when you're complete, please mute yourself back.
I would like to share that it's like I woke up or something woke up in this body, and it started caressing my head that you're safe and I'll take care of you. And it just felt like that's what I've been wanting to hear from life since I've had so many fears and issues with trusting life. And it felt like it was preparing me for the things to come. And it feels like even now I can hear the heartbeat, and it feels like I'm in a mother's womb. It's just so touching to be held like that. Thank you.
I would like to share as well. So in the vision where we were discussing, so what is it that comes to you? So I saw myself being pierced through with the lightning of the dark light. And then like cone of, like it felt like almost like a fire, because it lit a fire in my heart. Like last week with John, last time in John's meditation, I felt like there was also like a volcano rising up in my heart. And this time I felt that it actually burst into a flame, and it felt when the lightning pierced through me that there's actually like a cone of dark light going forward, and it felt like it's burning everything in the path. And it is actually when Taki'h was asking, so what are you afraid of? It is that I've been afraid that there's power and that I will misuse it. But then in that part, there was also came to me that what if that is not something that is destructive, What if it's actually the Shambhala energy that is actually just burning away something that is not supposed to be here, or not supposed to be in me, or not supposed to be in this land, or not supposed to be somewhere where my heart is being directed. And maybe that force is not destructive after all. And maybe I don't need to be afraid of it. Thank you.
Dignity, life's dignity. Is piercing through, challenged and always piercing through.
I'll share. In the beginning, I was in deep, deep, deep stillness. And I think it's the first time I've been asked, what are you afraid of? Where the answer was nothing. And this was really, really powerful for me because I could just sit in stillness and just be like, yeah, go. And this journey went through, I think the resistance, there was only, I would say resistance when we connected to the group heart. I could feel my nervous system struggling, and then I had to really feel, and I've been in a very quiet space. So we had to connect to the group like this. This was the resistance that I felt to really expand and let that field really like, and once it did that, there was like no going back. I was like I shared in the group, I was like properly penetrated, and it was just very erotic, very, very, yeah, it was just like shooting up from my base, and I just allowed it without keeping to try to attach it to experience or something. And I think it's the first time I could let it do that without anything. Yeah, without anything. So thank you, everybody in the group, for this amazing container, of course, to all you magical people creating it, but also to this, wow, this field. Thank you.
I would like to share. This is the first time that I've actually felt my heart like completely wide open and enormous. And my hands are not enough, like how big my heart is at the moment. And there was resistance to open and let it break. And I didn't try to force it. I was with it, with the pain of it breaking. And then when it like cracked open, it's so beautiful. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, so any final shares before we close our time together this evening? Alex writes, I just want to hold and hug all of you. You inspire me so much, and I love you. Love you too, Alex.
Yeah, I just have to say, like, I'm getting over loving my fucking computer screen. It is so annoying now. Like, ah.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, we have completed the 3 major full moon festivals of the year. The others are great too. We'll continue to go deep into each of them represents deep themes of soul work and soul personality integration to open us to more current. And we'll keep offering sessions like these over the full moons. And and the next big deal is the solstice. Well, there's a full moon tomorrow and an eclipse tomorrow, and then the solstice. So I'm sure we'll be united with you in that opportunity. So good to be with you all. Until next time. Ciao.
Bye, everyone.